Hello guys, welcome back to today's video. It is going to be a video on tips and tricks for Raid. It's part of my series which I do called Master and League Play, where I go through tips and tricks on how to improve your chances of getting into Master on League Play. Yeah, and I've done a couple maps so far. This is the third map I've done so far. I've done Moscow and one other, which I can't seem to remember. Checkmate. Moscow and Checkmate. And this is Raid. Obviously, you guys probably know that there's S&D, Hardpoint, and Control on this map. So there's a lot to cover. It's going to be a long video, but I will break it down into sections on YouTube so that you guys can choose which areas you wanna watch and things like that. So kicking straight off into the video, we're going to start with the P1 area, or the A control area, which is called Ring. I'm going to start off with the vans. Obviously, there's a black van or grey van and white van here. You can peek through both the windows, and no matter which side you're on, it gives you a good vantage point into, well, for example, this side, it gives you a vantage point onto top laundry and laundry steps. When you look at it from this side, it's a bit of a distorted view, so people might not always see you guys through this. You can also shoot under both vans, and that becomes more helpful actually when you are either capturing the point or you're on the hard point. Because if someone's on this heady and they're quite a hard target to hit behind the van, you can actually just shoot their legs and it does kill them. Similarly, this side you can do the exact same, and likewise you can do. It's not as great from this sort of side of the map, but you sort of have to come out to this sort of area, but it's a similar thing. There's also an abundance of head glitches on this map, especially in this area. Obviously, you've got each of these pillars around, as well as the rocks and the top here. When you're on, say for example, if you're on the hard point and you've got this spawn, you can be on the hard point whilst being on this heady, and you can watch them just full out of R and drive away right here. Similarly, once you've got a kill there, maybe move on to this head glitch where you can do the same thing. Yeah, essentially these are nice little head glitches where you can capture the point and be able to top people off at the same time. If you want a good vantage point onto mid-map, pool stairs for example, say if you get a call like, oh, there's someone pool stairs, you can quickly jump up here. You've got a nice little head glitch onto here where you can pop a couple of people, maybe sat on the head glitch at pool steps. They're not going to be expecting you necessarily to pop up here. And similarly, say if you are attacking on control, and your job here is to watch pillars, say someone's watching laundry, someone's watching the flank, you can capture the point from here as well. You can stand on this rock and you can watch the whole of pillars and pull steps from here, so it's just quite a nice little spot. And there's similar things around this sort of this whole area of the map really. Obviously from here you can watch pillars, and you can do a similar thing from here, and you can even sit this side and watch laundry from here. They're filthy head glitches because, as you can see, you just have to peek down like this, and you can leave a tiny amount of your head exposed, which makes you a really hard target to hit. Moving on to this sort of area up here, obviously you can jump up here. You can't capture the point from up here on either hardpoint or control, but it's a nice vantage point to either peek through drive or top art or even bottom art. And it does give you a lot of cover from the other side. However, this is completely wallbangable. You can shoot all the way through this. As you can see right here, my bullets have just gone through. So I wouldn't always recommend sitting up there because someone can rip you off that quite easily. This sort of side of the area is a pretty much useless side of the map other than this purpose. Say for example you've got a bomb planted over at the bomb site here. You can spot it from here. You can either sit here. People aren't going to be expecting you to be here, so it's a good idea to sit here, just because people that are coming out of art or driveway aren't going to be looking this far over to the left. You've got a sort of cover here. It's not much, so I would recommend getting one kill and then not doing it for the rest of the game, because they probably will check that. Obviously you have this spot here, but this is a pretty common spot for people to sit. It's a nice head glitch. You can see people rush and ring here. But yeah, it's you guys probably already know about it. Moving on to laundry. Getting into laundry is not easy from this side of the map because you have to mantle onto everything and mantle over, so anyone in laundry is going to be able to hear you. However, if you can get onto the van here, you can jump straight across without having to mantle, and I think you can even get onto here without mantling, yeah. And then you can then pick someone off, like so. You can get in through obviously that window, this window, and also instead of breaking this glass, I would recommend jumping straight up into here. And then that way you're pretty much straight in. Then they're not really going to. If they're here, they might expect you to be on this window. They're not maybe not necessarily expect you to jump here, because if they hear a man towards their right, chances are they're going to expect you to be that. They're more listening out for broken glass this side. So if you manage to jump over this sort of area here, you do stand a better chance. Now let's say you're defending the bomb, because there's a search and destroy bomb site here. Instead of over peeking and peeking this sort of area, my strategy to do this is to literally just hold an angle for the bomb. That way they don't know you're here unless they get a random wall bang, because this is all wall bangable, that you can shoot straight through this and it takes off no damage really. But so I like to just hold this angle, not expose myself to anyone who maybe has an AR. I mean, you can sit here with an AR as well. Yeah, as soon as people know you're in laundry, you're pretty screwed, because you, again, as I say, you can wallbang this whole wall. So you get a good spot and line of sight onto the point. They're maybe not going to check this because they haven't seen anyone peek it. You will hear them either come up behind you by mantle, because they'll probably will mantle onto this, and you'll see anyone coming up the steps right here from this angle here. So it's a nice little spot, and as I said, I wouldn't recommend over peeking because they will know you're here then. So I do like to play a bit cruddy here, and just sort of wait for them to stick the plant. I can then communicate to my team what's happening, and often if they think nobody's in laundry, they often plant it for this side, so it's an easy way to get someone, get a bomb down on point, and then your team can focus fully this side. Obviously you've got a nice head glitch here. So as an AR, this is a nice little spot if you're trying to defend laundry or the rotation round to this side of the map. You can sit here, but it's very common, so it will be pre-aimed. So just be aware of that. You also, if you've got a sub and you're trying to watch this corner, you can stand at this sort of area. You're sort of hidden by the bush. It's not going to fool them very long though, because you're going to start shooting. And similarly, you can lie down here and see anyone coming through and pick them off like so. The only thing with that though, you do get prone block because you're quite close to the wall. You can't really move. You can't really look left really far. So there is that to consider. Moving on to jungle. There's not really much to say about this other than the fact that you can climb up on here. You can't really check much this way. However, if you're trying to attack someone and you want to check the headies or top laundry maybe, you can jump up onto the side of the boulder, and jump and just check. And if you notice someone's on that heady, you can come out here, and there's a little cutout in the wall which gives you a perfect line of sight onto people on that heady. They're not necessarily going to be looking up here, and it gives you a good chance of winning that gunfight. Moving on to the deep spawn, say for example, this spot here is a nice little spot if you're trying to watch jungle push, or you can back up here to watch their whole push from laundry. Say for example, if you've got this hard point on lock and your job is to watch their laundry push or their kitchen push, you can sit back here. They're not necessarily going to be expecting you to be back here, so it's a nice little spot to be able to pick people off guard. Moving on to this tree. Now, if you guys follow the CDL, this is going to be common for you guys, but other than that, I don't often see it used. It's a nice spot if you're in an AR just to pick people off. This tree I don't think is very wall bangable, so you are able to peek through this gap and see anyone crossing, or maybe get a couple of hits on them. Similarly, if you're a sub, you can lie down here and pick people off coming out of the kitchen. Then the chances are they're not going to be looking all the way down here. So lying down here is a nice little spot to be able to pick them off guard. That, or you can just sit behind it, because this bush is completely wall bangable. So if you sat like this, you see people coming out of the kitchen. You can see people cross into jungle there as well. Yeah, and it gives you a good line of sight. Now, when you are at cutout, this is called, instead of coming like this, slow peeking it, jumping onto this, it gives you a bit of height. They're not necessarily going to be looking for you up here. And if they're on head glitches, you better chance being up here than you are being down here. So I do recommend jumping onto this wheelbarrow if you are up on this area of the map. Moving on to hardpoint number 4. This is P4, I think. There's really not much to show around here. Obviously, you've got this area or cube, and you can jump. You don't even have to jump. You can just walk into this plant. People might not expect you to be in the plant. They might check the corners first, and so you'll be catching people off guard when they come into here. This is a nice heady to hold if you've got an AR and your job is to watch front of the hardpoint here. However, people are going to be pre-aiming. This is what I actually like to do, is sit next to it and you're going to have them off guard because they're going to be pre-aiming up here, whereas you're going to be down here. So it's going to, you know, they're not going to expect it. And then once you get a kill down here, maybe move to the next side, and like so. The corners of this map are actually quite decent because you can actually see right into money here. So if anyone's in money, you might be able to get an easy pick or do some damage, or even just communicate the fact that someone's there. And again, from this point, I don't see many people doing this check. But say, for example, if you want to put a bomb down, or you want to know if generally someone's up there in any situation and you find yourself in basketball, if you back up right up to this wall, you should be able to see them even if you jump. It's a nice little sniper spot, to be honest, if you want to snipe someone off a heady up there. I did actually forget a point up in Laundry, so I will go back to that for you guys. Now, moving on to this area, this is sort of deck chair area of the map, low money, whatever you guys want to call it, but this is where a control point is. Now, if you are defending this control point, a nice little spot to sit and to watch the push from bedroom is here. You won't be on the points, they won't necessarily know you're here, but you can maneuver around this sort of area to pick people off as you wish, this side. With regards to capturing the point, a nice little spot to lie down is here. You are covered by the towels and the deck chairs, and you can literally just watch basketball. You'll see them run down the stairs here, and you can also see cutout from here. So they've got so many corners to check when they push into this area. Unless you shoot and they know where you are previous to this, you're going to stand a good chance of being, surprising them being in that sort of area. Other than that, a nice place to sit is in this corner, but you guys probably know about that anyway, so I'm just going to breeze past that. Talk about pushing onto the point. So when you're playing attack on offense on control, what I like to do is hit this point first, because chances are they're going to send 3 people over to A. Or maybe 2. Maybe 2-2 split, but they're never going to send 3 over here. So if you send all 4 people over here, you're going to have the man advantage, and you're going to be able to get the point much easier than A. What I actually like to do is to jump up here, up onto this rock, and find myself all the way sort of this area before I even jump on the point. And then what you can do if you feel like it, it leaves you to wrap around to Laundry, and pick off the enemy's team from behind, or you can just jump onto the point. And the smart thing with this is, you haven't jumped onto the point until this very moment. So if anyone's in money or kitchen, that sort of area, they've only just been notified that you've jumped on the point. So they're going to expect you to be this sort of the area of the map, your side of the control point. So they're going to be pre-aiming this side. They're never going to expect you to be here already because you've literally only just jumped on the point. So jumping upon the rock around and maybe dropping down there is a nice little idea for you guys. Open steps. Obviously, you've got these peak holes here where you can see onto the window up there, and it's a similar thing to here. You can see into Tiki from up here. Saves you just committing yourself to the entire, the entire challenge. There's a wall down here you can run on. The OGs of Raid will know this. It just saves you having to swim. It's a lot quieter than swimming as well. However, when you are swimming, people aren't necessarily expected you to be here. So if your job is to watch pool steps, for example, being here and holding this is a nice little spot. They aren't going to expect you to be here, and you can really control your engagement. You can go up and down like so, and you can strafe left to right. The water actually protects you a little bit from bullets as well, so it's didn't mean to do that. It's a nice little feature you can do there. Moving on to bedroom. You can actually jump up to bedroom. You don't even have to jump onto that, but you can jump straight up to here and up to here. And if you're defending the control point here, this is actually quite a nice spot because people won't expect you to be here until you obviously until you get a kill here. But it lets them to run all the way under you, and maybe a couple might even run under you without even expecting you here. And it just allows you to get maybe a couple free kills. As so. So moving on, and you can actually jump straight into bedroom here. I'm actually going to show you what I do when I'm playing. Can't get through the window when I'm trying to defend control. So let's say we get 2 or 3 dead, and we're able to push up to bedroom without any hassle. They've captured A. What ideally you want to be doing is forcing their spawn to gym. So you've either got to be in this sort of area of the map, and what they will do, they'll spawn gym, and it means that they've got to take long routes all the way around the map or through mid to get to this point, which means they're going to have less chances to attack, which means you're more likely to win the round if someone's in this sort of area of the map. A nice spot I like to have when I'm playing an AR. I didn't actually mean to crack that glass, but you can come out, you can be here without breaking that glass, and you can have this lovely line of sight onto anyone that comes around that corner. The only way they catch you out here is if they come around here, but that's a very long route for them to come, and the chances are you will hear this glass break right here. So sitting in this corner, let's say you get kill here, nice spot, you then move, you can jump down right here onto this outer area, lie down here in this bush, get the next kill. So they're going to be pre-aiming where you just were. So getting the next kill here, and then a nice little spot I like to sit is just here. It's a bit cruddy, but you'll either hear them coming or you'll see them run past. They're not going to be checking this. They might even run over you. So the next attack, you get them here, you either see them run past, you shoot them, or they run over you, in which case you've got the jump, you can see them straight away, and you get to shoot them first. That's what I like to do, and I like to sort of move between those spots, and even this one, just to be a little bit unpredictable. And it, as I say, it spawns them Jim, which is absolutely huge in control. You don't really want the spawning right here. So if you have someone in art, they're going to be spawning here, where I am right now, and they've got it's so easy for them to push the point from this side. So yeah, if on the other hand you've got the ring is the last capture to get for them, pushing up to art's ideal, because again it does spawn them here, and if you can get someone on Lambo or Jim, they've got them run all the way around, or just it forces them through this choke here. So if you've got a good setup, you force them to die here. Moving on to this area, you can actually get over here without even jumping or breaking the glass. So if you want to be a bit stealthy, you can do so, but obviously then you have to break this glass here, so you end up not being stealthy, so you might as well just run straight through it. There is a hard point in the garage here, and jumping up on this AC and checking where they are is a nice idea just for intel. You can maybe get a couple of picks onto people sat behind the van right here, but really it is mainly used for intel. Now let's say you're defending this point. There are several ways they can attack. The most common ways are around AC here or garage gym. If you're defending this sort of side, a nice spot is to lie right here. They're not going to be expecting it. You do get prone block, so it's not, you can't really move once you're down. But it's a nice little spot. They're not going to be expecting you to be here. As long as you've got mid covered as well as gym, you're good. The only way you die here is if really you lose this gunfight, which is extremely unlikely, or you get shot from over here. But hopefully you've got someone on this heady. You can see straight through this glass, straight through to that car, and you can do it the same on this car as well. But you guys probably already know that's a very obvious place to sit. You can also sit here. Say if you are, your job is to watch here, but you have an AR, you can watch mid and they're pushed through AC. Just like this. I don't see people sat here very often, so people won't often pre-aim it. But it's a nice little spot for you to sit. Moving on to this area of the garage. Obviously now you can jump straight onto the van, so you can watch their push through gym here if you'd like to. It's a bit of a cruddy place to spot, but you should win gunfights up here as long as you don't get picked off from any other map. This is a key hard point. Your teammates must all be, in good positions to win their gunfights and, cover their teammates. As soon as one person falls, chances are you're going to get broke, and yeah, that's not ideal. So really you want everyone in a strong position like I've shown you here, watching the different directions, and you should be winning this you should be getting an easy 60 points on this hill. Now, other than, say if you've only got 2 people on the hill, you could have someone sat here watching AC. You can have an AR here watching this whole area. You'll see them push through mid, you'll see them push through this side, and as long as you're a good AR, you'll be able to win these gunfights quite easily. However, you're obviously exposed from the back, which is where the second person comes in, where they can sit right here with an SMG. They're not going to be checking here. As they run through, chances are they're going to be checking either under the van, on top of the van, and they're not going to assume you're going to be in that corner right here. So it's a bit of an unsuspecting position to be in, but it allows your AR, who's here, to have good cover from you right here. Again, you can't get shot from any side of the map because they're going to be beaming people that are there. You can't get shot from mid here because of the van. So it's a nice little spot to sit as a sub to pick people off guard running into the hill. Moving on to here, when I do push this hill from this side, I either like to use this Lamborghini as it's called Yellow Lambo. I don't think it's a Lambo. It used to be. You can pick people either. Say for example, you want them. You're in control. Um, they've taken B. You've only got A left. If you're here, they'll be spawning in that area near AC. Chances are they're going to be running all the way through straight here, and it allows you to force them to run through bedroom, up pool steps, or through basketball. Force them to take the long route. So it's a similar position to being in bedroom if they've got B to take. Obviously, they might take a back route and push through here, but if you're decent out, you might be expecting that. If they're taking a bit too long to run this way, you might end up backing up here, checking that, and then re-peeking like this. When you're breaking hill, what I like to do is to drop shot around this corner and pick anyone off this like this. Chances are that it's very common for people to be lying down under the van or on top of the van, so it gives you a chance to check. But before that, I do like to slide across or shoulder it just to check where people are, and then I commit to the chow, like so. Along this sort of area of the map, which is called Drive, you have all these slats which are all like little hidey spots. You can do this with all of them, and it just means you can be a bit unpredictable. Say you're playing S&D and you've got the guy trapped up back and spawn. If you want to defend Drive or they're pushed to bottom art, you can have someone there. Say you've got someone in Zig and you've got someone in bedroom. If you sit here, they're not really going to be expecting this. You can also line this bush here. Again, it's just about being in weird spots that they might not necessarily know about. Moving on to Art, or Red as it was called. Obviously a nice little spot. Say for example it's Hardpoint. You can actually talk about the Drive while I'm here. In Hardpoint, say you're rushing to this point. If you beat them here, you'll be able to pick them off on the outer here. You'll be able to get an easy kill like that, but they might reach out this, so you just got to make sure you're winning your gunfight right here. Similarly, there's a spot in Art where you can see their push like this, and you might be able to get a kill quickly here. You don't really want to be coming out here because you can get shot from so many areas. While we're in Art, you can actually jump on top of this vase and sit here. So, for example, if you're trying to watch the flank for S&D, this is a nice little spot to sit. You can either peek Zig here, they're not going to be expected to be here for info, or you can sit here, wait for them to push through, maybe to go top, or you'll be able to see their push through driveway. The only way they flank you here is if they go all the way through garage and through gym, which in my opinion is quite unlikely. So this is quite a nice place spot. They don't often check this, and it's quite a deep corner, so they won't see it even if they do run like this. Moving on to this area now, obviously you can jump up here. As so, say for example, you're a lone player defending this, and you're waiting for them to push. Sitting in this corner is quite a nice corner to be, because they're going to be running out. They're going to be checking everywhere this side. They're not necessarily going to be checking where you are right now. And similarly, you can be up on these rocks right here, doing a similar thing. Moving on to the middle of the map, there's actually quite a lot you can do here. As an AR, I like to play outside the hill, you know, watching Zig or watching pool steps like so. However, now this is again very situational, but it does happen very often. Say you're on control and you're defending A, you manage to win the gunfights over A, they are going to be spawning at bedroom, so you want to be able to get across, make sure they can't get B as quickly as possible, and the best way to do this is simply to jump up onto this block here. You'll be able to see them crossing, and then from here you can then engage and chow them like this. You've obviously got to make sure Zig's clear, but again, from this block, if you jump, you can check Zig. You can do the same from here. This is all wall bangable, as you guys probably know. You can wall bang both sides of this, so it's a nice area to get picked. And again, you can do a nice little check here to check if anyone's over. You can also jump onto this one and see Paul. This is probably a better spot because you can see their entrance, and it's not too late. You can then, if they get across, you can then move on to this one and pick them across like this. Other than that, on mid map, there's not much to show you guys. Obviously, I've said that's wall bangable, and that takes us to P2. There's not really much to say about P2. It's quite a generic area to hold. It's quite good. I mean, you just got to make sure everyone's watching a good area. I mean, money. You can stand on top of these packets of whatever it is and chow people. They're not necessarily going to be expecting you here. And again, you can jump onto the settee. It's just an extra bit of height. They're going to be aiming for your lower mass, So chances are you might be winning that gunfight, especially if you're pre-aiming. Now the spot I forgot, I'm going to show you now, and it is just it's a simple spot. You can jump up onto here, and if you've got a good AR or sniper, you'll be able to pop people coming out of bottom bedroom right here, and you'll also be able to jump to peek top heart there just to see if anybody is there. So I think that covers everything. I'm racking through my brain to see if there's anything else, but I think that's all. The video's at 25 minutes, so I don't really want to make it any longer. But I have said I'm going to break it down for you guys as much as I can in the, I'll like segment it in the YouTube video. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video. And if any of this is useful, let me know. If there's any more you can bring to the table, any ideas that I've missed, drop it in the comments, because I'm sure the rest of the viewers will be interested in what you have to say. But other than that, I'm going to leave you with a video. I will see you guys next time. Ciao.